Ladies and gentlemen, how you all doing? This is Koruck.
And I'm Vanguard, hello, hello, hello.
And folks, it's a new week, which means that we are giving you, actually, was it 3 replays this week? Give me some great action. Starting today, Shchedrin, Rang, who is duking it out?
Well, on the left-hand side in blue, we have ourselves Frubblord playing as good old Koruck, 559, and he has a Vanguard income. And on the right, we have KOMBAT, who will be combating with the 29th Tank Corps with a balanced income.
So, I was saying this to you just before we get started today. Koruck, kind of a, it's amazing or it sucks kind of moment. Why is that?
Especially on a map like this, where there's a lot of open grounds against 29th, it can be a real pain in the ass to kill said IS-2s.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, looking at the income, I'm guessing, and how deployment is, Frub is going to be banking a huge infantry push into the southern town, and KOMBAT actually kind of doing the same thing. A lot after Machikis, with like a T-34 support.
You know, and honestly, looking at the openings here, Ultimate Cheekies with the Strokies, the Ultimate Cheekies, like you said, there's so much extra firepower here. Is it that mean then that Frubblord is just giving up the northern side?
Okay, he's actually got some units deployed up north, but yes, it's like a few T-34s at the moment. But I think we might see some air power play, as it's a smart way to play Koruck, as we've seen in previous replays. You get all those Stukas out and strafe everything to hell and back.
Well, maybe, or if nothing else, just get a Stuka and just specifically target that crossroads.
Just something at least, but yeah, it's just going to be a tough tank battle for Frubblord if he decides to engage in the open.
One certainly hopes that's not going to be the case, but as the players themselves get themselves into the early positions, we have had a DLC announced, which I'm just super stoked for.
Yeah, the Finland will be cool. It
Exactly.
will be really cool.
The
And
Winter War,
cold.
man.
Yeah.
And there you go, there's the Ju-87 you were talking about, there's the Focke-Wulf 58. That, of course, doesn't really have a whole lot of, really anything whatsoever.
No, it's just a funky looking plane.
And I don't know, is he going to try to strafe this? Oh, he's going to try to strafe this Ultimate Shiki. There you go, you called it. Perfect. And actually, I wonder, will that cause stress or kills? Well, it's just going to cause some stress for right now, but it could have been amazing.
That was actually pretty good, Joe, because he unloaded the whole platoon drive of after Machikis, which will give Frubblord just an initial advantage in that town. Now, we do have some flamethrower troops being brought in. But yeah, opening with the strafing JU has worked out really well so far. I mean, there's no anti-air or airplane being brought out from combat, so he still has a little bit of time to fly around willy-nilly.
Has that been something that you've used yourself? I can't say that I've really kind of gone that direction.
Not really, no.
So what's the drawback of it?
I already have less ground forces, and
True.
ground forces is going to be pretty important. As you see up north, Frubblord's forces, isn't... Okay, it's a few T-34s and some Shupos. And KOMBAT has much more infantry being brought into that northern forest hill.
Certainly is accurate here. Now, the Stroky DPs against the Grenadiers, we've had this kind of conversation before. Do the LVFs stack up any better?
Not really. Only have the one machine gun, so they do have a much worse time against Stroky DPs compared to Panzer Grenadiers.
I see. Now, what else do you see is the Ju-87 does force back that T-34 down in the south. In fact, you actually have a second Ju-87 as well.
He's just strafing the everlasting crap out of all the Soviets, and it's working. It is goddamn working.
Well, the thing is, again, too, if they can go and successfully take that town, well, that's an awful lot of points. That's an awful hard position to take back.
It's a lot of open ground between the town and the spawn point. Oh, look, there's a A-20 Zhukov coming in. And, oh, yeah.
As might be expected.
Yep, and, jeez. I honestly was not expecting it to play so fast, but, yeah, we got a fighter with a Messerschmitt 109, and also a bit of anti-air. So Frubblord, even though he's playing pretty heavy in terms of ground attack planes, He is prepared to keep the sky tears.
Worth noting in the meantime, a Ju-87 with that 37mm cannon did take out. Did take out the T-34? At least maybe one of them. I think there was just one of them, wasn't there? If not, then that guy is still up. Russian plane does go down. Frubblord is still suffering a little bit here, but that's about to change as he pushes back these last little bits of Machiki.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's doing a great job keeping the skies his, so to speak. Even as he got the anti-tank plane just flying about, but he definitely could use maybe there's a few more infantry in the town, because combat those aftos can be pretty scary.
They certainly can. It's not it's not any kind of squad who really wants to be going up against 10 PPSHs.
Yeah. Yeah, the Shuppos just get deleted when they get into range.
No, actually, I have an older brother, IRL here, and he was asking me the other day whether or not the Germans ever actually had a weapon system they were not particularly fond of when you see the T-34 goes down to the Ju-87. And the only thing I could tell him off the top of my head was just thinking about the MP-28s versus, like, the PPSHs. Can you think of anything overall where they weren't really fond of them?
Oof. I'm betting the German engineers didn't really like working on the heavy tanks, that's for sure.
That's probably true.
It probably was not fun to try and fix up a Tiger.
Just a quick check in the northern flank here. We have one Ogdemachiki who's holding an awful lot of territory. I would not be as aggressive with him as I am. And ooh, yeah, that's actually going to cause another flag to go back over here to Frubblord.
Mm-hmm.
And while true that we do see PTRDs, the one that basically be super concerned about this is the T-60. That guy is awful light.
Yeah. He's most likely to get blown up in this contest of anti-tank shots. But yeah, Frubblord needs some more infantry up north, because those tanks are going to be blind as a bat. He's bringing up some grenadiers and an anti-tank gun. And yeah, a bunch more Shuppos to try and shore up the northern defense.
I'm not entirely sure that's a superlative I'd want to win. Most likely to get blown up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a category I try to avoid.
Most likely to blow up. I mean, like, yeah, I'm pretty sure, like, Drake or 50 Cent got that at some point, but that's besides the point here. We are going to see a second recon plane instead of the first one go down over, of course, from the A-20. 37mm is going to force him back, but even as that happens, there needs to be more Soviet infantry coming down to the south, as you're seeing a fresh wave of MG-26s coming in as well.
Yeah, even though combat hasn't been able to do much aggressive maneuvers or whatnot, he's really losing the air roar for now. He's done a pretty good job in these first 5 minutes of A phase, considering the point discrepancy. I mean, in terms of actual, score, he's barely lost anything.
That is true, but we are going to see some stovepipes go to the south. 105mm mortars are going to start unloading. And
oh no, those are proper artillery guns.
Oh yeah, wow, yeah. You know what? My mind always immediately hits that silhouette and just goes immediately to it.
I know it's silly. It's silly, like an artillery gun silhouette.
It's just a moment of just inactivity. I'm not sure the right term is here. Superiors to the north, of course. Once again, I feel kind of bad for the Russian infantry to the north, because they are quite talented, let's say, but they are just not getting any support whatsoever.
Especially when you're going up against Koruck, who has hordes and hordes of German infantry.
And you're fighting your own tanks as well.
Mm-hmm. Definitely not pleasant.
We are going to see a couple of T-34s moving into the field, though, around the center part of that map. There's an IG-290. I was going to say IG-18, but IG-290. So start attempting to blow holes there.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but decides that discretion is a better part of valor, does back up.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting because combat hasn't decided to take any A phase IS-2s, it seems. So I'm guessing when B phase hits, we're gonna be seeing Stalin be brought out, and that can be a pretty nasty tank. Hopefully by end combat can set up a good anti-aircraft net to stop any potential G1 gun runs from blowing them up, which might happen just now.
Yes, indeed. And actually, these artillery pieces are going to go after the town, but 37mm is not going to be enough to chase these guys away. It'll freak him out, something fierce, but one of these guys is dead for sure. Yep. Here we go.
Beautiful. That's how you do it. Holy
Jeez.
crap, that Zukov. It just, I mean, it dies, but if it gets behind something, it makes for something goes along with it. That's just, jeez.
It is a little strange for me to see a Ju-87 actually win as a fighter plane, so to speak.
Yeah.
And I put that kind of in air quotes, though I'm sure you guys can't see that.
Yeah.
It's just so weird. Like, I was looking at that, I was like, wow, he killed him awful quick. Oh, wow, it's the Ju-87.
Mm-hmm.
But with the death of those T-34s, we are 90 seconds away from Phase B. And all we've seen so far, we've seen a couple of T-34-76s, and every single one of them has been, well, 86 pretty quick.
Yes, they have, but yeah, we're going to be hitting B phase shortly. Frubblord is in a pretty good position to get a nice, early, easy start into B phase, as he has a lot of flags under his control. He's slowly pushing the Soviets out of the southern town, and he's got a lovely defensive position in that hill up north. But hey, it's really going to come down to whether KOMBAT can really bring the combat with his B phase forces, which should hopefully be big.
Oh, one does certainly hope so, though it's 16-9 right now. Sorry, 16-8 rather, jeez. You know, Ryan, have you ever had one of those days where you're just kind of completely out of it? That might be right now for me. But MG26 is coming on in, like, the... I always look at these things and I see German Bren guns.
Oh yeah, MG26.
Yes, sir.
I believe that's because it is technically a Bren gun. It's a Czech
Yes, it is.
model gun, which before they contracted with Britain. But yeah, that's you got to hand it to those Germans, man. They'll use anyone's equipment.
Oh, well, you know, waste not, want not.
Mm-hmm.
We're 15 seconds away from Phase B still. It's just, we're seeing pairs. It's just braces all around. As you see the T-34-41's moving on in, we see another Ju-87 as one more run just to kind of clean up this infantry. Yeah, that is quite terrifying.
Yeah. I just love seeing those gun run, just any gun run planes being used. Just, you know, it's like an A-10 Warthog.
It certainly is. And with 4 more squads of Grenadiers, and these guys are all the Panzerfausts, any IS-2 would have to think twice or 3 times, or even maybe 6, before really kind of going in here. We are going to see the first T-34-85 actually go to the north instead.
Mm-hmm. And, yeah, I mean, Frubblord is on that northern side. He definitely needs something heavier anti-tank up here, but for now his T-34s are doing a decent job.
Uh-oh. Officer went down in the town. So now we have 3 squads of Automochiki, 2 of them are pinned, and the nearest attendant infantry is, what, a kilometer and a half? Yep, we're going to see them all surrender in a second.
Yeah, this is a, I would not want to be a Russian in that town at the moment. And
No.
probably not going to be many Russians in there for much longer.
I would certainly be rushing away.
Yes, that'd be a good idea.
Ju-87s to the north, by the way, G1 and a D5. So gun run after the... just to keep the tank freaked out. And I think we're going to see another kill. Yep, here we go.
Geez, so it's just the Frubblord's like air power has been on point.
Yes.
That's been terrifying. Just the Sukas come in and strafe everything to hell and back.
Well, the one thing we are noticing right now, really from the Soviets, there's not really been artillery. You know, screw the air power. You can deal with that. At least freak them out well enough. But where's your artillery? That would have saved, I think, quite a few lives today.
Yeah, definitely would have helped out in the town quite a bit. Just to help slow down Frubblord's advance. You gotta realize there's a lot of disheartened troops and just regular troops in there.
Yes.
They don't like being shot at by really anything.
They're silly like that.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, we got a Tiger being brought in down south, or actually to the middle of the map, so trying to get that long-range advantage. Yeah, the few Tigers that you do have with Koruck, but just more aeroplanes being brought in.
Well, we already see actually some half-tracks trying to push across this bridge. But between artillery fire and tank shells and everything, this is going to be a rather aborted push.
Yeah. Insert a bridge too far reference here.
I thought about doing that, and I was like, but I just did that in the last one.
We
so.
do it every replay, but honestly, it's such a good movie. Can
Yes.
you really blame us?
Yes. You know, I was talking to another guy actually recently. He was like, you know what? I just watched the new Midway movie, and it's really not that good. And I was thinking to myself, just watch the 1976 one, man. Like that's a solid movie, even if they do use documentary footage. Oh, this T-34-85 is in a strafed in a second by another G1.
Yeah.
It's really interesting to see him use these recon planes to almost unmask for all of his ground attack airplanes.
Yeah, it's been working really well. They've been surviving, which is good, which is an ideal thing for a recon plane not to get shot down. But, yeah, combat is starting to bring out a little bit more anti-air, bringing in those nice 37mm, but it seems a little bit too little too late for him to actually do anything effective. There's just too many airplanes.
Well, then as well, we see the infantry getting just shelled constantly. We see legitimately we see a lot of Dushkas, but there's nothing from a distance. Everything is line of sight. That's not going to work against Koruck.
Yeah, and Frubblord, like that northern hillside position is extremely lovely. Like I said, he doesn't have much in terms of great anti-tank weaponry, but he's just meant to put down enough fire to scare off combat for now. I mean, at T-30-45, it's not blown up, but I bet he risky rolls with all those critical hits.
Ooh, and he gets his wish.
Yeah.
And actually, with that, we're seeing this massive column of German troops coming in to kind of completely consolidate everything. Now, there's an IS-2 to the south, and that's lovely, don't get me wrong. But would you have deployed it to the south? Yeah, see, that's kind of my perspective already. If I had to say, would I really want to do this?
If you had like some infantry backing them up right now to like rush into the town and try to get a foothold in there, but it probably would have been better up north and just try to fight over that choke point, kill those T-34s, and just try to do a push up. Yeah, that'd be his best bet.
Even the saddle in the middle.
Yeah, just not into a town fight. I mean, you can hug around the southern side of the map, but you're not really going to be doing much, yeah.
No, sir, you are not.
No.
And unfortunately for him, we actually already have the welcoming wagon is coming on out. Another D5, a G1, and another recon.
Yeah.
The unsung heroes of this match thus far.
Yeah, I'm really like seeing just such heavy air power being used, because it's not something you see all often. And even though, yes, Koruck is a C-tier division, it's not the best in any sense of the imagination. But if you manage to exploit the air power like this, as you can see, you can make some pretty short work of your opponent. And geez, even at like D5, just half morale damage the IS-2.
Worth noting, there was an A-20 Boston dropping bombs in the north that does take out a couple of the anti-tank positions. But what is there to follow it up? There's nothing.
Nope. D1 going in for the gun run, doesn't get the kill. But
he's not making it out.
No, he's like right over enemy AA.
There we go.
Yeah. Was he gonna crash into a friendly?
Yeah, we really shouldn't enjoy that as much as we do, but it's just like the lottery. It just so rarely happens. Tiger, in the meantime, Tiger's fired up a couple of HE shells, and that's about it. Artillery is looking to find that anti-tank position. I mean, IS-2's dead, and that ZIS-2, and the Tiger can pretty much have free reign.
Yeah. I mean, just as long as there's no IS-2s, the Tiger will be a happy camper. That's for MKT-44 since 85, since it'll be a pain, but not that much.
A pain, yes, but we also are seeing more artillery positions. We actually have 2 more pairs of those 1-5 LEFHs.
That is...
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of artillery. Yeah, Frubblord is not... He's not pulling out any stops. I guess that's a nice thing of Koruck, because most of the time you're just spending on like crappy medium tanks and crappy infantry at a cheap. You have money saved up. You got a little bit left in your savings account, so you can buy an entire battery's worth of medium howitzers.
A rainy day fund to make the days for your opponent rather rainy.
I wish my rainy day fund included World War II vintage artillery, but I guess I'm just gonna have to deal with a mortar.
Well, at that point, I'd imagine the Canadian Secret Service or the Secret Police, whatever the Canadians have up there, would be you'd be on quite a bit of a watch list.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
I would be. I think that'd be a very illegal thing to have, unfortunately. But I mean, can a man not have an artillery piece in this day and age?
Unless we put like paintballs in it, and at that point we bring in tourists. That would be perfect. Again, it's like the paintball tanks.
Mm-hmm. We got Lufthansa coming in with all their planes.
Yeah, I was just thinking that myself. We have those again, the Three Musketeers. In fact, we've seen them twice. I'm just enjoying watching all those little red reticles all over the place here.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm actually quite surprised. Like, Kombat hasn't brought out any actual combat fighters. Because he's got the AA now, which is nice, but you really do need fighter planes to solidify the anti-aircraft net, so to speak. Because a lot of these planes are just J-87s and like a few Messerschmitts. That's not too hard to deal with if you got, some decent fighter planes.
Well, we did see another one of the recon planes go down, and we're going to see the A-20 move on in. He's already going to drop on those Grenadiers right by the river. It ain't going to be pretty. In fact, I'm waiting to see that entire block get leveled. Pretty close. But as time continues to tick down, we are noticing that Frubblord just absolutely shellacked combat.
Yeah, he just... I mean, it's all due to the air power. I think
Yes.
We've said that a lot, but by God, that is how you air power with Koruck. And apart from that, he's just been playing the ground game, just overwhelming infantry hordes, and just good use of medium tanks.
He certainly did play that maneuver warfare pretty damn well.
Yep. Especially with like a not maneuvery warfare division.
Yeah. It's always fun to see someone take a division that should not be able to do something like this and do something like this.
Mm-hmm. Like with Koruck, you think you just sit back, try to camp the 50-50 line and hold your ground, does not make, big maneuver warfare, especially in like the middle here. Like capping that entire hilltop.
I imagine the KD is going to reflect rather severe, yes. Yes,
Yeah,
unfortunately,
jeez.
combat got, combated pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, looking at kills, nothing really too crazy. Losses, rather. Hey, T60 was surprisingly really good. Holy crap.
Well, that's what happens when you have a rapid-fire 20mm cannon on you, but...
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's a 20mm one. I always think it's like the 45, but that's a T70.
Yes.
Yeah, and then T72 is really scary, but that's another thing entirely.
Well, and then the air power, though, like we just said. So the Ju-87 G1 over here, we have a trip kills on that.
Yeah.
And there was an awful lot of stressing out that had happened here. So we have seen air power dominate the last couple of replays.
Mm-hmm. It's a nice change of pace. Air power play can work pretty well in 1v1s, but it's also very easy to like bugger up, and you can just lose a match entirely if you just lose a few planes in a bad air raid.
Well, I am certainly a buggerer, so I understand completely on that one.
Mm-hmm.
But Rang, any insight into our next couple of matches this week?
Well, next match will be on the same map, so
that is true.
Yeah, that will be true, and there will be fighting and shooting, and maybe some aeroplanes again.
Well, folks, if you aren't already chomping at the bit for that, I don't know what will catch your salivary glands salivating. But with that in mind, folks, we hope to see you back in a couple of days. Until next time, I'm Koruck.
I'm Rangaroo. Take it easy.